It just takes a few minutes to place a bet via your phone. But if and perhaps when you win, the tax implications are in focus. On Business Today, I bring you the latest developments on an ongoing court saga involving the Kenya Revenue Authority and a winner. Also, where does Uchumi Supermarket stand today? We have the details. And away from that, the housing deficit grows by 200,000 units every year in Kenya. The Big Four agenda's affordable housing pillar seeks to ensure this is curbed. Now, how can banks play into this space and help? I'll be speaking to George Laboso, the head of a mortgage at Barclays Bank of Kenya, to break this down. Well, a very warm welcome to the program this Wednesday. I'm Malika Kazia, and I'm glad to have you with us. Of course, let's begin with the markets. All right, we'll take a look at the currencies first now. The dollar there buying at 101 shillings 5 cents, selling at 100 shillings 95 cents. If we look at the sterling pound, it's buying at 131.87 shillings and it is selling at 132.16 shillings. Finally, the euros there buying at 114 shillings 9 cents, selling at 114.35 shillings. As for NSE performance, after closure of business last evening, the turnover stood at 530 million. Shares traded were at 14.5 million. The NSE 20 share index stood at 2,865.60. Bonds traded worth 2 billion. Now, as of this afternoon, some of the most active stock for you there. KCB leading with 6.99 million. Safaricom following with 4.28 million. Equity Bank coming in next with just about a million there. Kenya Power next with 698,400. If we look at your winning stocks, Bamburi Cement does lead the pack, trading at 125 shillings. It's actually gone up by 5.93%. Looking at Crown Bergen next, it's trading at 84.5 shillings. That's going up 4.32%. Kenya Power trading at 4 shillings 15 cents is going up 3.75%. And BAT Kenya trading at 544 shillings is going up 3.62%. Finally, your losing stocks led by Flame Tree Group. It has seen a downward turn of 7.32% and it's trading at 2 shillings and 66 cents. If we look at Uchumi is trading at 42 cents and that has gone down by 4.55%. Everready trading at a shilling and Williamson Tea Kenya also going down 3.50%. Well, those were your markets for you. Now, I want to, of course, ask you our question this afternoon, and that is our Twitter poll question that you can answer for us. It's all about Kenya and China relations. Do you think the president's bilateral visit to China will yield any gains in Kenya? Now, tell us at Malika Kazia, at Agina Abi, and the hashtag is KTN Business. Also, you can let us know your thoughts at KTN News KE. The question is, do you think the president's bilateral visit to China will yield any gains for Kenya? Of course, we'll be sharing some of your responses as we go along on the program this afternoon. All right, let's get into the first story this afternoon. KRA has been embroiled in court proceedings with regards to collecting tax from betting company winners' earnings. Now, in a recent turn of events, a court order which had been issued allowing KRA to continue collecting the taxes was sought to be overturned. Here is the latest. 2.7 billion shillings per month accruing from betting wins. Now, this follows a court order issued by Senior Resident Magistrate DM Kivuti sitting at the Milimani Commercial Courts. The order has stopped the operation of Income Tax Act sections 2, 10, 34 and 35. The order issued follows the 2014 filing of a suit by Mr. Benson Irungu against SportPesa Limited. The suit sought to prevent SportPesa from deducting and remitting taxes arising from Mr. Benson Irungu and any other person's winnings. KRA, which had not been party to the case, sought to be enjoined as an interested party. The orders were subsequently overturned on March 29, 2019, allowing allowing KRA to continue collecting due taxes from SportPesa and other betting companies. However, in April this year, Mr. Irungu moved to court seeking orders for the stay of execution against the earlier orders. The orders by Senior Resident Magistrate Kivuti were heard and issued in KRA's absence, and the authority became aware of the same on Thursday, April 18th in the afternoon. KRA's counsel managed to file their responses and submissions seeking the orders granted by the Senior Resident Magistrate Kivuti be vacated pending the hearing of the inter-parties case. At the hearing on 23rd April 2019, advocates appearing for Mr. Irungu requested the court for more time to file their replying affidavits following KRA's submissions. The Senior Resident Magistrate Kivuti, however, declined to vacate the orders issued on 11th April 2019 and directed all parties to file their responses and appear for hearing on Monday next week, 29th of April 2019. Moving forward now, of course, the world is a global village and business investments span over boundaries. Now, how do businesses protect their interests when they venture into a new country? Noah Kipkemboy joins us to break down the matters on bilateral investment treaties. Over to you, Noah.
Good afternoon, Malika. Now, when somebody wants to invest in a different country, of course, the home country has to take care and make sure that, the environment is favorable when they're putting investment in that particular country. And that's why we get the issue of bilateral investment treaties. And this wonderful time, I'm joined by Eugene Odari, who is from Econews Africa. It'll help us understand what bilateral investment treaties is all about, and if we are in any as a country, are they beneficial? Eugene. Now, Edgar, sorry, my apologies for that. So my first question to you will be, just help me understand, what is bilateral investment treaties?
Bilateral investment treaties are treaties that are signed between host countries and recipient countries of foreign direct investment to be able to protect their investors as they come to invest in these countries. Yes.
So Kenya, are we in any of these BITs?
Kenya has signed a total of 19 bilateral investment treaties with other countries of outside regions to be able to protect the investment of these countries coming into the country. Yes.
What should we be on the lookout? Because this goes way back in the 60s when this was introduced. Have they been beneficial to the continent of Africa in over the 50 years that we've been signing these BITs?
Actually, research is indicating that investors don't make decisions based on the kind of BITs that have been signed by countries. In actual sense, BITs do not necessarily attract foreign direct investment as has been perceived in the past. In actual sense, investors look at other environmental issues relating to the investing environment before making the final investment decision. So we do not need necessarily to get into bilateral investment treaties to be able to get investment from these countries. And this is shown in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, the 4 biggest sources of FDI from Ethiopia have not signed a single BIT with the country. Yes.
Yes. And if at all we are to sign, what are the benefits accrued to this?
The benefits that accrue to this is that investors get protection and security in terms of when they come to invest in the country. They are sure that they'll be able to protect their investment. But there's also a downside. The downside is that these rules have been interpreted by arbitration panels to the detriment of African countries. Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, you have a number of rules that have been interpreted. I'll give you an example of the Kotek case, famous for, was it Jacob Juma? This is a person who did not follow the rules of the country. They quickly ran for arbitration, and the country ended up spending a lot of money for an issue that could have been sorted out without necessarily having to resort to such expensive arbitration mechanisms. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So there you have it. BITs. They're not necessarily very key for us to get foreign direct investment, but even as we sign them, we have to be on the lookout to make sure that we are getting the better part of the deal, because foreign companies are out to make money, and also we as a country, we have to look for our own interests on how we can make money from such deals too. Back to you, Malika.